Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the virtual events group. I am here today with a special guest, Mohammed Yunus, who started vFAIRS and is the CEO. And I thought we'd start for our listeners who are not as familiar with vFAIRS. Just tell us a little bit about how you got your start and how the journey's been. Just what you're up to.
Thank you, Robin. And again, thank you for inviting me for this particular interview. The way vFAIRS got started was when I was doing a master's degree at University of Texas, at Austin. I used to attend job fairs at that time, just like any other fresh graduate. I would go and I will, wait in the line to meet with the reps of Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM. And, sometimes you would wait for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour just to meet with a rep in one of these, physical job fairs. And by the time you get to meet any of them, you realize that they would, in most cases, will direct you to their website or will try to kind of, rush the conversation because there are still a lot of other people waiting in the line. And I would just kind of, leave with just this mindset that, by the way, that these events can just be run a lot more better for everyone, whether it is for attendees or exhibitors, or eventually even the event organizers, right? Because I would just see a lot of inefficiency in who's talking to who and how much we have to wait and so forth, right? So I just thought, I will go ahead and I will try to, again, run a virtual job fair, just trying to do a lot of these things efficiently. And when I started doing that, a lot of people just realized that, how much in this particular use case, a virtual job fair was a lot more efficient, a lot more cost effective, and was just giving a lot more benefit to all stakeholders. That's how it all got started. It started as just trying to solve a problem that I personally faced, and then, then eventually trying to build a platform so that I can solve that problem for myself, and then eventually for a lot of other people out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have faced that problem. So what year was this? This was before the pandemic.
This was way before the pandemic. So this is the idea of vFAIRS got started just back in 2008 or 9. It took me a couple of years to build the platform. And then for many years, I was just the event organizer myself. There was no vFAIRS brand. It was, again, I just wanted to run virtual job fairs, because, again, I knew that how much it was a pain for me as an attendee, and then eventually even as an exhibitor, once I started working for a company to do those things. So 2010 to 14, 15, I ran hundreds of these events just myself, mainly job fairs. But what happened at that time was, even though there was no vFAIRS brand, people, companies, and even governments would come to me and would say, we love the platform that you have built to run these virtual job fairs. Either I want to run a virtual job fair, so can I just use your platform to run that? Or B, I want to run it for a different use case. I want to connect universities with prospective students. I want to run a conference. I want to run a trade show. And most of what you have in the platform just works exactly, for a lot of our use cases. So I used to rent that platform to others without even having a business of vFAIRS, right? So again, even before vFAIRS was born in 2016, I personally would have used my platform to run over 100+ events. I would have, just out of courtesy, would have given my platform to a lot of companies, businesses, friends to run their events. And then I just realized that, okay, time to switch from being an event organizer to a technology company, because, there's just, I can see that there's a huge amount of need for the platform like ours, and, many other people can benefit from it. So vFAIRS was born in 2016, but then again, the concept of vFAIRS was there for, since 2010, and I have had run several of them before that.
And so describe the vision. Every platform looks different. Do you go in as an avatar? Do you go in as a person? Do you go in as video? What does it look and feel like?
Yeah. So see, from a look and feel perspective, my goal was that how can I help event organizers run a physical event, but in a virtual format. So I wanted to give them all the benefits of an in-person event. And some of those in-person events are, the benefit that I personally see are, again, the look and feel of any in-person event. We just discussed like how we both are going to go to IMAX, and, it's going to be in a certain venue, and, there's a certain things that are going to be memorable about that event. So for me, the venue, the sales and marketing aspect of it, the ability for sponsors and exhibitors to stand out, right? So for me, how do you create a highly memorable virtual event was the most important thing, because again, my point was, let me give you all the benefits that you can get in an in-person event, but let me remove all the inefficiencies that are there in most cases, right? So just to answer your question, our events are highly memorable because of the way they look, right? So it's always have this nice fancy lobby, a very nice fancy exhibit hall, a nice fancy auditorium, so that no two events look the same. You will get to see a highly visually appealing interface. Now, as you go inside it, we just feel that not everyone can be an avatar right now, and everyone can walk like an avatar. As much as I love the metaverse concept, and we are working towards it, and we have kind of an MVP for that. The audience is just not ready, because in the end, it's not about just making the event look cool. It's also about the ROI. In the end, I care about having meaningful conversations in that event, people getting the benefit out of that particular event. So again, we look at what our audience want, which is again a very highly visually appealing event that is memorable, that stands out, but then give them all the tools to network efficiently and get the benefit out of that also efficiently.
And is it mostly one-on-one meetings, or it's one-to-many? You do both, right?
We do both, and then even a lot more of that, right? Because everything from smart matchmaking to round tables to again, what we call a spatial connect, that if you want to have that metaverse kind of a feeling where you're walking around and you can see people around you, who those people are. We have many forms of networking opportunities, and in this event, it's up to the event organizer to pick which is the right one for their audience, and then they can configure the platform accordingly.
And so how hard is it for a client of yours to onboard? Let's just say IBM wants to come on the show.
Yeah.
Do you have can I do this?
Yeah. So Robin, first of all, IBM is a customer. So again, and they would have onboarded in most cases all by themselves. Having said that, this is one of the things I just want you to know, like where vFAIRS stand out, is that we are of the opinion that the platform has to be fully self-service so that anyone can use it. And the reality is that all of our customers, or even when we use it for the customer, all of these people are like non-tech people, someone who just kind of logs into the platform, use a certain kind of configuration tools to configure any type of event. Having said that, I'm also of the opinion that the events industry is not just a technology play. So I don't feel that I'm just in the technology industry, even though it's a technology company, it's a SaaS company. I'm of the opinion that we're also in the hospitality industry. An event is not like a typical CRM or an ATS that I can just give it to a customer, I can walk away. For me, when someone is running an event, because I have ran hundreds of those events myself, I always compare it, it's like your wedding day. It cannot go wrong. You're going to work for days, weeks, and months just for that 1-2 day of an event. And hence, as much as the technology is self-service, we always appoint a customer success manager and a project manager to a customer free of charge. We don't charge on our support staff or our help staff, so that if the customer want help from from vFAIRS, they have that help. Because it's not just about letting the technology run. We want the event to be successful, and many times people need to talk to someone on how I can run a very successful event. Not just the technology always work and it's great, but also how to run a successful virtual event. So yeah, it's fully self-service, and IBM and Microsoft and Amazon, and all of these customers would just use our self-service platform, but they can always talk to someone as and when they want to without any extra cost.
So you start with this basic event platform, vFAIRS. Did you learn things along the way? For example, people wanted to make a match beforehand, or people wanted analytics afterwards. Were those things sort of added on to the system?
Yeah. And again, Robin, like we employ over 80 people in the technology, and the reality is all of those 80 people in the technology department, they constantly work on the feedback coming from our customers every single day, right? So again, we started as a virtual job fair use case, and now we serve customers for over 100 plus other use cases. Just this week, we had a customer who had a virtual Halloween party in our platform, right? And again, literally if you would log into the platform, you would see everything related to Halloween and the pumpkins and the avatars and so forth, right? So yeah, we are in an industry that's rapidly changing, and the idea is to always look out for that feedback from the customers and keep on evolving the platform. So everything like smart matchmaking or roundtables or spatial connect or leaderboard or gamification or service posts, all of them came from the feedback from the customers, and that's how our platform has continued to be evolved. And again, even as we are moving towards a bit of metaverse and in-person events and hybrid events, it's all based on the feedback from the customers.
Yeah, I'm laughing. I have this picture in my mind of somebody hiring your avatar for their job, which seems pretty funny. But so we know live events are not back to the levels they were before the pandemic, but they are coming back. Do you work with live events as well to augment them?
Absolutely. So Robin, even before pandemic, we have started working with customers to help them also with their live events, right? So we have the mobile app whereby, again, for any of the live events, customers who would go and attend that particular in-person event, they still need a landing page and a registration form and the ability to capture payments if it's a paid event. So we always provide that. As when you go and attend that live event, you need to get your badge printed. So we have a badge printing app. You need a lanyard and a badge holder, etc. We provide all of those services as well, from printers to lanyard to badges. And then as people are meeting with each other, right, they want to exchange their information with each other. So whether it's a lead capture app and the ability to make notes and look at the venue and the floor planning, we provide all of that. All of that is out there. And again, our customers are customers who use us for live events, for virtual events, and hybrid events. We work with hundreds of those customers to kind of support them as and when in any format they need.
So that there are so many people out there, Mohammed, who are trying to figure out the best platform to use. Tell me what you think your secret sauce is. Is it the customer service? Is it all of these different components put together, or is there one special magic ingredient?
Yeah, so I think I think that magic sauce is just going to be different for different people depending on what they're trying to achieve from their event. I think our customers love us primarily for three reasons, and that's why they would continue to work with us for almost six plus years now. The very first thing is that they just feel that when they run an event on a vFAIRS platform, that is just highly memorable event. It stands out. When you run an event on a vFAIRS platform versus most of the other players out there, this event, when attended by attendees or exhibitors or sponsors, they would feel that it's a virtual event. It's not a meeting like this with enhanced networking tools. That doesn't give you a feeling of an actual virtual event. So that's one. Just the platform is just aesthetically very beautiful and highly memorable. The second thing is we have been doing this for the last 6 years under the vFAIRS brand, and I have been doing this for almost over a decade now. We have the depth of feature set for many use cases that others don't, right? So when you run a job fair with us, we have a jobs module and a resume search module. When you do a trade show with us, we have the ability for anyone to showcase their products and people to buy those products and so forth. So we have been doing this for over 6 years under the vFAIRS brand and 10 plus years, just myself. So we have that depth of functionality that most of the other platforms don't. They started as a virtual conference platform, and you have to maneuver those tools to kind of fit your own use case. And the third and the last one, as you mentioned, is the customer support. If you look us on G2, we are by far #1 when it comes to the amount of reviews we have got and the ranking. So again, while our competition would have raised millions of dollars in funding, no one come close to us with the kind of ranking we get from our customers, and the kind of like they swear on the customer support that no one within our industry has ever offered the kind of support we provide. In many cases, no one in the technology industry, kind of spend the kind of effort that we spend when it comes to the customer support. So these are three things, just aesthetically beautiful, depth of feature set, and then just the most amazing customer support out there.
I can attest to the aesthetics. It's fun without being so cute that you can't do business, So I think you've done a really good job there. So clearly, my guess is during the pandemic, things were fantastic. As we emerge from the pandemic, what kind of challenges do you face?
Yeah, see, I think I'm still grateful for whatever, again, opportunities we even have right now, right? Again, see, I have been doing this for the last 6 years. Again, big companies, big Fortune 500 companies were already working with us even before pandemic. But one has to be a forward-looking organization to think about the concept of a virtual event. What pandemic at least has done is that at least it has let the audience know out there that you can run live events, you can run virtual events, you can run hybrid events, right? And it's up to them to kind of choose what format works best for their audience. But during the pandemic, again, it was a journey that I think one only gets to experience once in a lifetime. We grew really rapidly. Before pandemic, we were 25 people. Now we are over 250 plus people, serving over 2,000 plus customers. And again, at this point, just grateful for the opportunity, because now people are aware of all the different types of events that they can run, and then it's up to them to decide whatever works best for them. But
Yeah.
again, we expected this, and it didn't change in any way for anything for us. We grew at a pace we wanted to grow, and we employed people at the pace we wanted to employ. So we didn't let go of anyone and any of those kind of things, right? So for us, we are in a very just stable situation, and we love to kind of grow from here to the next steps.
Yeah, no, that's so smart. And we're seeing this all over the industry, sort of a right sizing taking place. So before I let you go, and I know we'll have you back on the show talking to our regular monthly meeting soon, and taking your advice about the crystal ball. Is there anything I've forgotten to ask you about where you think things are going for the rest of this year, at least? It's hard to predict after that.
Yeah. I think, see, I just feel that what's happening in the market is that during the pandemic, everyone had to do virtual events. Now, everyone wants to go back to in-person because they have done a lot of virtual events. And I think my just suggestion to the people out there is that, do as many as you would want those live events. But I think one would always just have to go back and see what work for their audience. We can see that even the best of the best conferences that you have attended, or I have attended, or will attend, IMX and so forth. You're not going to get back all of the people now in those live events, right? So you should offer what your audience want, and you should try to give them all the different venues for them to consume that content. For many of them, it might be virtual because they have gone remote forever now. For others, they would prefer an in-person event. Offer them that, and for others, it's hybrid. Which is, again, they want to still have that in-person kind of networking opportunity, but they want to go back and consume the content more in a virtual format at their own pace, right? They cannot just attend everything in that person event. So I think I just suggest event organizers just to be, again, don't lose your audience that might be there for a virtual or a hybrid or in person. Just try to offer them all the formats so that they can pick the one that's just best for them. And the second thing is, I just feel, again, as I mentioned earlier, an event is a very, very serious business, where it's just not, you don't get a second chance. So again, as much as any cool technology is important, and again, we have the cool technology, what's really important is how do you get the most amazing support, not just for yourself, but for your exhibitors, for your sponsors, for your attendees, because not everyone is there in person now, and in many cases they would need the right kind of support to consume the right kind of content. So again, these are just a few suggestions.
Yeah, no, and I think you started out by saying it. vFAIRS, I mean, it's just a more efficient way of doing a lot of different kinds of business. It's not, it's not the only way to do business, but it's sure, having been to job fairs in my past and watch my kids go through job fairs, and watch meetings where you queue up and wait online, that's eliminated sustainability reasons, corporate travel reasons. There's a million reasons that we're going to continue strong. And I think the other thing you said that's really important is what you do at the live event, from badging and lanyards to just making it a digitally forward event.
Absolutely. And again, I think just one last point is that, see, a lot of these Fortune 500 kind of organizations, they work with us just because we are also a platform that is able to support not just one use case, but use case across all different just use cases, right? So again, conferences, trade shows, benefit fair. You don't want to go to 2, 3, 4, 5 different vendors. Oh, by the way, this is good for in-person event. This is good for job fairs. This is good for trade show conferences. Just because we started doing this, again, we are not an afterthought of COVID. Like we always believed in events, whether it's virtual or live. And we have just built that depth of feature set across use cases that customers can benefit from.
Well, now you're making me think we should be doing our holiday party in vFAIRS. So it has been fabulous to talk to you. I know our members will enjoy listening to what you have to say. And I know that we'll see you again. So Mohammed, thank you so much. And thanks for giving us a glimpse behind vFAIRS.
Thank you, Robin.